first and foremostly, this learning about astrology and looking into your chart is, looking into every dimension of your being. This is an electromagnetic circuit board, and some of these planets are struggling, where all the red lines are, and some of the planets are doing well because of the blue lines, and by positioning in good signs. They've got to be like Mars. You've got Mars over here in Scorpio, beautiful. But you've got Saturn in Aries, not good. This is going to be trouble. So what we're looking at is where you're strong, where you're weak, etc., etc. And what you're looking at as well is this is the ecliptic of the sun and the planets. So the ecliptic always starts at Aries, this red fire sign, and then goes through this way, anti-clockwise: Taurus, green, earth; Gemini, air; Cancer, water; Leo, fire; Virgo, earth; Libra, air; Scorpio, water; Sagittarius, fire; earth; Capricorn, air; and Aquarius, and then water, Pisces. And this is your rising sign because of the time you were born. You were born at 10 a.m. So if you look at this as a 24-hour clock going clockwise, that's what it is. Okay. Daily, everything is turning. All those planets on the inside here, Sun, Mercury, Venus, they're all going this way. This is rising in the morning. This is 6 a.m., ascendant. Pisces was rising the moment you were born. The Sun was in the best house, the 11th house. This is glorious house, the house of social activity, the social life. So you are the sunlight in that area. Your friends, you're the sunlight to your friends, And Mercury, you are a communicator with your friends. You're very lucky if you're born between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. because anyone who is born there will be very social and have a very, very lucky life. Okay, all other things in the chart being good, this will be very fortuitous. And then anyone who's born after that, before 12, this is the 12 o'clock point. This M here stands for the meridian, this line. And here is 12 midnight. Here is the descendant, which is sunset. And so what you have here is the MC, the medium coelum, the middle of the heavens. When the sun gets here, it's midday. And the 10th house, therefore, represents public life, public service, your career, your public path. All right? So the time you were born at 10 places your sun accidentally in the 10th, in the 11th house. If you were born later, it would be an accidental placement in the 10th house. And then you would be more career-minded, glory in the career. And if it was over here in the 9th at, going towards 2 p.m., because this is everything before this is AM, anti-meridian, you see? Right. Yeah, see, this is how clocks should look.
I'm an iridologist, so I read eyes, so I kind of get what you're saying.
Exactly. So you know that there are 12 sections with 7 concentric rings in the eye. Okay, right. So those are the 7 planets on the inside, and in Kabbalah they are 7 concentric rings, and these are the 12 segments along here. And if you've watched my presentations, this is the cerebrum, Aries. This is the cerebellum, the cerebral, Taurus. Okay, and then the lungs, the twins, the twin hands. So this is your body. Okay, all right. So that's all good. Now, most astrologers have got no clue what I'm doing. As we see, the signs are disposed anti-clockwise. We've already worked that out, and so are the houses. These houses, 1, this is your rising sign. This is about you because it's number 1. And funnily enough, you can liken it completely to Aries, the first sign. And the motto for Aries is I am, so therefore this is I am. Okay, so what we're discovering in this first house is who you are, your desires, how your body looks. Definitely you'll have Jupiterian looks because of Jupiter being the lord of Pisces. So Jupiter's the jovial one is very prominent in your chart. You'll have a jovial, happy, hippie type, dreamy nature through this Pisces rising, because this is your acting sign through the public persona, the mask that you wear, the etiquette, polite Monique that is very respectful in public. At home, you don't have to be. You can sneeze here and there, and you don't have to say excuse me. So you're comfortable. But this is you could say your uncomfortable sign, or the one that you work through in the public arena everywhere you are. But naturally, you are Capricorn, and you have a beautiful moon. You were born exactly just minutes before the full moon in Cancer, right opposite. So that gives you your one and only opposition straight through the center of this. These red arrows, these oppositions are very stressful, okay? And full moons usually, when people are born on full moons, but you have a beautiful moon in Cancer, this also is a dignity. This is called an essential dignity. When the planets are in good signs, but when they are in good houses, that's called an accidental dignity. So the moon is in a very good house. The 5th house opposite the 11th is very lucky. This is the lucky axis, the happy axis.
Is it weird that I married a Cancer and we have been together 25 years? Not always good, but together.
Yep. That will make sense, because the moon is opposite your sun, and so that represents your opposite sign, so you resonate with it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, and women love Cancerian men because they're very, very in touch with their feminine side. They're caring and sensitive and soft on the inside. So you have an essentially dignified moon in Cancer, and you have an accidentally dignified moon in the 5th house. The houses are active areas in your life where activity is happening. The signs, they are the passive energies that are channeled through the mediators, which are the planets. Hence, when we say Jesus is our mediator and Lord and Savior, we are talking about planets like Jupiter. Jupiter is Jupiter Zeus, Jesus, and Saturn is over here. Okay, so when we say Jesus is our mediator, it is because astrology, being the mother of all sciences, has permeated all other sciences, including theology. This is theology.
Yeah.
And so Jupiter there is channeling. He is the catalyst, the mediator between the heavens, the signs, and the earth, the house, the house where you live. And so if you have an accidental dignity, that it's an accident that the moon's in the 5th house. It's not an accident that it's in Cancer. Well, because no one knows the time of birth, it's considered to be an accident in time, because it's not something that happens all the time. And so if you were born 30 minutes later, your moon would accidentally be in the 4th house over here. It would be advanced because everything is turning, all the planets and signs are turning clockwise, although these planets are actually journeying along the ecliptic anti-clockwise. They're going this way. They're all going this way, some fast like the moon, some slow like Pluto. It takes 248 years to go around here, and he is right now in your Capricorn. That's Pluto there. And there's Saturn is also in Capricorn. And of course, these are the transiting planets, the green ones on the outside. Okay. So you see, And the moon only takes 28 days. She's the fastest. Pluto is the slowest to go around the ecliptic, but they're all traveling, journeying along the ecliptic anti-clockwise this way, while the whole mechanism, the clock, is turning clockwise. What I look for in a chart are three things. And those are the three things you need for a Sunday drive to be a pleasant experience. You need a good car, you need a good road, and you need good weather. So we've already looked at the car. That's the essential dignity. So what kind of a vehicle are you driving? Is it a Rolls Royce or is it a Mini in terms of quality, etc.? All right. Well, so that will be where the planets are in which signs. Accidental dignity, the road you're driving, because you could be accidentally driving on one day today and the next day tomorrow, but you still have the same car. That would be where the planets land accidentally due to timing in which houses. All right. Now, some planets do not like certain houses. Okay. And I'll tell you now, you don't have bad accidental dignity. The time you were born is really good. You've got good accidental dignity. All of those planets are sitting in really productive houses. The moon in Cancer, this is magnificent for women. Saturn in Aries, but Mars in Scorpio, excellent. So you've got two planets that are what's called essentially dignified, and that scores you 5 points per planet. So you have 10 points of essential dignity. But if we want to be technical, you need to wipe 4 points off because Saturn falls in Aries. He exalts in Libra. So that's a 4-pointer for an exaltation. A domicile, moon in Cancer, Mars in Scorpio, your two water signs. Those are 5-pointers. Exaltations are 4 points. So you wipe 4 points off, that brings you back to 6 points of essential dignity. What's important is we want to get a general reading of this chart. Where are your strengths? What's your purpose? What's coming up in the future, etc. Where are your body weaknesses according to your iridology? Because this will be exactly the same. Because Jensen appropriately put the top of the eye there. That's Aries, and if you go from the top there, from the MC up here down like this, you'll see that the head starts here, doesn't it, in iridology? Right. And then it goes down to the neck here, and then it goes down to the arms, and then all the way down here, right? So most of it is in sync with this, and a little bit is out. Some quadrants are not as correct, but it's still the same thing. So now, and then the weather, the third thing that you need for a good Sunday drive, that's represented by these red and blue lines. And the red lines, these are squares, 90 degrees. A square is very harsh. 4. So you've got 4 squares here, which make 2 T-squares, one pointing here to Saturn and the other one pointing here to Jupiter conjunct Uranus by 1 degree orb in over here. So this is not a very accurate square, though. You can see, so because these are misaligned, this is a very long, this is like about 100 degrees. It's not exactly 90. And this one's slightly less than 90. So you're lucky, in my opinion, because the less accurate these T-squares are, the less harmful they are. When they're perfectly accurate like that, you would have a line going straight through the middle, and then you would be born under a grand cross, which will be very, very stressful for you, for good or for evil. My sister has a grand cross, and she's always been tortured and tormented with plagues, and she's 59. She's all very, very, very overweight and very, very She was hit by a car when she was young, and it traumatized her, and she just gained weight from then on. And that's in her chart, a grand cross in fixed signs. You would have had one in cardinal signs, Aries, where Saturn is, Cancer, where the moon is, over here Libra, and the other cardinal sign is Capricorn. So that would have been more strong, okay, and detrimental to your health. And I can see that in your health you have some issues like, well, where you would be stressed first in the health if ever you become unhealthy. Not that I'm, saying that's going to happen. Your sixth house is pretty good. Health is middle, but not strong, not weak. But what is good is your sixth house is very strong, and your first house ruler, Jupiter, is very strong. So, and they are the two houses that mostly talk about your health. But these red lines are going to stress your health.
I got breast implants at age 22 and I still have them. And I'm scheduled to get them out in 2 weeks because they've been making my good health bad.
Give me the date of the operation, please, because we need to check where the moon's going to be.
We don't know yet. It's going to be either the Thursday after Thanksgiving, which I think is the 28th or 9th. Then there's December 6th, I think is the next Thursday.
Moon will be in Leo, the heart. Okay, after the 28th, you're pretty good. No sooner. If Moon was in Cancer, this is the breast. Not good.
Oh, okay.
So the Sun is good. Moon in 28th is good. 29th, I would rather you did it after the Moon's out of the sixth house. The Monday should be okay.
Okay, so that's the first.
Yeah, whatever that Monday is. Yeah. That Moon will be in Libra. Not so problematic for you. That's what you have to watch. The moon you watch for your transits, and I'll give you this website so you can do this yourself and watch the moon. You need to track the moon.
Okay.
Because the moon will give you what's going on every day. And, like Saturn will tell you what's going on in the next 2 years, Jupiter in the next year. So it looks like some traveling's coming up. You've got the Sun and Jupiter and Mercury in the house of travel.
Mm-hmm.
So Jupiter in Sag looks really good. For the next 6 months, he'll be lingering around here, and there may be some travel, or if it's not dealing with travel this time round, because Jupiter will be here in another 12 years, it takes 1 year in every sign, so he'll be around this area for 6 months here in Sag, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so that's why it's very lucky. So this could be good for travel for you, or on the other hand, higher wisdom, higher learning, especially since the 8th of this month when Jupiter entered into Sagittarius. So this will be good, and especially when Jupiter advances along the ecliptic here and comes into the career house, that will be good for you too. And then the house of social activity and aspirations and hoping, and achieving your aspirations in the 11th house. It'll also be very, very positive. This is very nice for you, Venus, transiting your Mars. Of course, this is Mars is your husband and Venus is you. This is Adam and Eve. And so this is very romantic for you coming up right now. This is great for you and your husband, and especially since Mars is located in the house of sexual attractiveness, sexual energy, sexual knowledge. Okay, well, what you need to look for is something coming into the house of relationships where you have a stellium of planets. Jupiter, really good. Uranus, not retrograding, very good. Pluto, retrograding, very destructive. Anything retrograding is. And that's the only planet that you have that is retrograding. And even the moon is waxing just 1 degree before the full moon, where she would have started waning, and that would have been negative. But you've got a very beautiful, hopeful, positive waxing moon. And so you need some good planet to be coming through this here, and you want that to be Mars, and Mars will be there in about a year. So next year, you can look forward to something there. The other thing that's coming, I think Mars is going to be the first thing that will hit there, really. You need to look for that. If I go to, say, 1 year's time, let's have a look where Mars is. Mars is, oh, he's gone way past. Okay, we want him to be, so let's go 9 to 10 months in the future. Let's go around the planet Libra. When Libra comes, what will the scales of justice bring you? There you go, Mars right on your Pluto. But you want to start thinking about that a month earlier when Mars enters Virgo. So, and Virgo would be, yeah, around this month, you know, things are going to really, really materialize in that area. Opportunities, meetings, someone will just, you know, just pop into the portal of your life and introduce themselves, you know. That's the time when it's going to happen. Mars was over here in today's transiting. Now we went 9 months in the future. Right. And it looks beautiful because all this stellium of beautiful planets, they're all coming through, and you know, it shows that there's going to be activity there. So, and I could look at other things, like I could look at more things to do with partners and what's coming up. This is only the transits. We could look at other things if you know, time permits and whatever you want to you know see in your chart. So, but when normally doing a reading, I'd begin at the first house and just look at the I am, the individual, what's going on there. Pisces. So, you know, Pisces is the sign that is your conscious mind, your focus, and you know, there's a lot coming through that. A lot of your characteristics: dreamy, happy, jovial, old soul type of understanding individual, very benefic, very generous, very loving, sensitive, really sensitive, on the good side. On the bad side, Pisceans can be known to be a little bit excessive in shall we say lusts, maybe greedy sometimes, gluttonous, because Jupiter's negative qualities are gluttony, etc. All right, a little bit of a pompous attitude, self-righteous sometimes. And you've also got Chiron there, which is the wounded healer, which means you know, you have a wound. There's a personal wound going on for sure. You're carrying a wound, and it's from past lives, no doubt, and it's emotional for sure. Okay, and then the North Node, which is your destiny, your purpose, your karmic reason to evolve in this life, is dealing with you. You are here to, you know, follow your dreams, your heart's desires, and put yourself first before others. You are a very, very aspirational individual. You have the sun in the 11th house, the house of aspiring, dreaming forth dreams, big dreams, and getting them. And it also is the house of money from career, the house which it follows. Always the house which follows another house has to do with the income or the wealth from the house it succeeds. Okay, for instance, the second house, it's dealing with the wealth of your wealth, because it follows you, the first house. The 8th house is the wealth of your partners, because the 7th house, which it follows, is the house of your partners and marriage mate. Okay, so this must be the money, which it comes from the preceding side, your career. And so you've got gold there, the sun. So this house is dealing with, you know, the sun, meaning that you are making good gold from your career, and then Mercury would mean good transactions, lots of merchandising. Merchandise is Mercury. So lots of commerce, lots of dealings, lots of intelligent, you know, transactions with money. Okay, and this is good. Yeah, so watch that north node and always put your desires, your health. Now, this is, although this was good up here for your income, this Saturn in the second house is not really good. It's not bad, but it's certainly not good. Okay, Saturn is always a malefic. He's the greater malefic, and he is squaring 5-degree orb with the sun, 5-degree orb, 4-degree orb with the moon. No, sorry, 6-degree orb with the moon. 12 and 18 and 13. So these are not really hard aspects, but they're middle. Remember, whatever the second house is always the wealth from the house which it succeeds. Okay. So of course we saw that the 8th house is money from partners because the 7th house is the house of partners. Although we established that this is really good for your income because it succeeds the 10th house, which is your career. Therefore, this is the wealth from your career. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the wealth from you and your own hands and what you do with your own productivity. Mm-hmm. Well, Saturn will bring you stability when it comes to income, but he won't bring you like luck. Yeah, he will bring you like it'll be a struggle, but eventually you will do well. You'll do well in your latter years. All right, and so then we go to the 3rd house. This is the house of brothers and sisters, communication, intelligence, your community, brothers and sisters and neighbours and relatives and that kind of community, and how you communicate in general and how your mind works, your intelligence. Okay, so communication, intelligence, all those themes, very mercurial, having to do with Mercury very much, and the moon as well, mental, all this mental stuff, your education when you go to school on a secular level, etc. Short journeys, adventures, bravery, courage, initiative. And it is, look, it's not exceedingly glorious, but it's not even troubled by anything. Only that Taurus, the ruler of Taurus, which is on that 3rd cusp, is Venus, and Venus is in a cadent house, which is the weakest. Okay, so every quadrant, there are 3 houses, 1, 2, 3. That's the first quadrant. The first house is angular. It is the strongest. It has 50% of the energy of that quadrant. The second house is called succedent. It is medium strength. The 3rd house is called cadent. Cadent means to fall. Therefore, it's the weakest. Then we come to the second quadrant. The fourth house is angular, very strong. Succedent, the 5th, medium strength. Cadent, the 6th, weak. Okay, so these cadent houses, there are 4 of them, and they are the last ones of each quadrant. They bring weakness, sickness, troubles, strife, misfortunes, fear, anger, sickness, all of those things. Whereas the fortunate houses are the angular ones, AC, IC, DC, and MC. So that would be house 1. This is the AC. House 4, this is the IC, etc. So that 3rd house, because she's so weak, she's in the weakest house in the whole chart, and she's also in not a sign that she likes, Aquarius, not very comfortable there, and having a square, very strong square from Neptune, with a 1-degree orb, 27 degrees here, 26 degrees here. This is the tightest square that you have. So your Venus is quite weak there, and so that debilitates this house somewhat. The ruler of the house is the ruler of the sign, which makes it the ruler of the house, tells you the strength. Now, Gemini, the 4th house, this is your home, your private life, privacy, security, etc. and investments, property, all of that stuff. And it's very strong house, very good. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and so that brings strength into this house. Mercury is in the luckiest house, the 11th, for just general luck and health and accomplishment, achievement. So the moon, I think the moon's doing good. She's pretty healthy there. She's in the terms of Jupiter. Here you can see the sign of Jupiter. These are the terms of Jupiter. These are the luckiest terms in the whole sign of Cancer, and your moon is in the terms of Jupiter. Also, the terms of Venus are very lucky. They are the two benefics. So although you see the moon being attacked by the sun opposite, this can bring many misfortunes too to the individual. So it's not all that lucky having the full moon. Sometimes people are born with birthmarks on their faces, or deformities, or some sort of a scar or a wound, or something prominent that the full moon has left on the face of the individual. Yep, or it will bring a lunar type of look to the individual. So when you meditate and you look in the mirror, look for the Diana, the goddess, Isis, the spirit of the moon that is in the moon. Yeah, I would say if the moon is in bad degrees in the terms of like Saturn or Mars, which are malefics, then probably that would pertain to a wound on the face, and it depends on which sign it is, because Cancer is in the sign of moon is in the sign of Cancer in your chart, the full moon. It will bring Cancer things, so it won't be a wound to the face. More probably it would be, well, there you go, your breasts when you had your implant. You see what I mean? So now we're going back to today's transit. That's better. Okay, so what are you looking forward to? This is your relationship house. Pluto, destruction. Okay, not good, not good, not good, not good. Retrograding in Virgo, which is the sign of its fall. And because I was born a little bit earlier than you in 63, I also had Pluto retrograding in Virgo, and I have Pluto in its fall as well. That's been very destructive in my nature.
Good to know.
So I have my Pluto opposite in the first house, and yours is opposite in the 7th house. So mine has been destructive in my own life. Yours is destructive in the life of you and your partners. Both of these planets, Uranus and Jupiter, are generous.
Wow.
Beneficent, kind, loving, jovial, happy, bestowing gifts, etc. Very loving. And Mars in the 8th house, this really shows that you have good energy when it comes to romance and things like that. Do you have children?
I have 3.
Yeah, well, that shows in the house of children, the 5th house, the house of pleasure. We skipped that. I forgot to do the 5th.
That's okay.
But this is the house of children. Very good. You've got the moon there representing your sensitivity to your children's needs, motherly affections, motherly devotion, fecundity, especially with Mars in Scorpio in the 8th house, very fecund and very Pisces rising, water everywhere in your procreative houses, the 1st house, the 5th house, and the 8th house. Water is there, and good planets and good energy, and showing that you're a good mother. You're a generator of new product, meaning new souls, children. And this is also the house of creativity, generation, transformation, artistic abilities, creativity, and it shows that you're very martial there as well. You go out and do creative things, and you're very transformative. You're heroic in that area. Neptune is the dreamer, the channeler of syncretic wisdom, and it's right there where you want it, in the house of dreaming, visions, spirituality, higher learning, astrology, the occult. No, the occult is here where Mars is. This is higher knowledge. This is deeper knowledge. and this is philosophical knowledge, spiritual wisdom, health house, the house of foreknowledge of things, divination, etc. So you're very interested in health and all of those things, syncretic. So all of this quadrant is the spiritual quadrant. Here you have philosophy, general wisdom. Here you have occult wisdom, deep. Here you have higher learning and channeling from higher books. Here you have opposite. You have secular books at school and your education and your intelligence. But here you have higher intelligence, where you go to the academy, the mystery school, and where you channel great visions and dreams, and you know, you're a foreseer, a clairvoyant. You're not necessarily a channeler. You're more advanced. You can see with your own third eye rather than channeling, you know, demons or angels to give you the information.
Right.
And the other house that is very spiritualized is the house of illumination and enlightenment, which is the 12th house, channeling your subconscious. Okay. So here you are channeling your past lives, your karma, what is hidden, what is secret, what is from the past. All the cadent houses deal with the past. They are the weakest houses and they deal with the past. The angular houses are the future. The succedent houses are the present. The yellow houses, which are the angular houses, is the first. They're the strongest and most benefic. They are doing with the now, not the future, the now. The succedent with the future, and the red, the cadent houses, which are the weakest, the past. So you have Venus in the 12th house, which is the past. And so this is, but this is also channeling subconscious information, okay? So you're very, very spiritualized, but from the north node in your first house, you need to bring that into your life now. You are the teacher, you are the influencer, the role model, the guide, the guru, to all kinds of spiritual, you know, activity, knowledge, productivity, etc. That's what I'm seeing in this chart, and pretty much really sums up your chart. The 10th house is also strong, your career, so that's good. The 11th house, we've looked at that. That's you glowing in social settings and being very lucky, healthy as well. In general, of course, you have had some health. Have you had major health issues?
No, I haven't really. I just need to get these out so that the issues will go away, because it's the petrochemicals is what the implant is made of, and it's been making me sick for 25 years. Yeah, I just didn't know what was going on until I just kind of stumbled across a support group called Breast Implant Illness, and it's a real thing, but nobody's talking about it because it's $1 billion industry. So they don't want everybody talking about it and getting them taken out, then people won't get them in. So I've been dealing with this and not knowing. Every doctor's told me, no, I don't, you look fine, you're healthy, but they don't understand all the psychological stuff that the implants cause. So that's what it is.
Yep, it does.
Yeah. Like the pharmaceutical companies, they want to suppress anything negative.
Activated black charcoal will be good every second day. Take a teaspoon of that in water, distilled water. Drink distilled water, lots of it. You can get them on eBay for about $100. Distiller distills the water. It's like a kettle. It boils the water, and all the steam gets distilled, and that is negatively charged ions, which means it's a solvent, and it pulls all the toxins out of your body. Bye. They pulls all the positively charged minerals, which are toxifying you, out of your body. 4 liters every day, and you should try and have days where you can use 4 liters of water, distilled water too. That will really flush loads of rubbish out of your body. And then every second day, a teaspoon of activated black charcoal. Then you can do on off days a teaspoon of zeolite or bentonite clay or green clays. I would look into turpentine therapy as well. Okay.
What do you recommend about the cell salt?
Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's your cornerstone because you are born under Capricorn skies. So the next 2 signs, if you were 9 months in the gestation where your mother gave you all of those tissue salts corresponding to the 9 signs preceding your birth sign. On the proviso that you were in your mum's womb for 9 months, then your cornerstone salts are Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So
my children are starting to take them because they've been very sick. I have a child with autism, so his gut's messed up from the vaccines, which is when I stopped. When he got autism, I stopped vaccinating. It's what kind of woke me up to everything.
Right. So let's get on to the distilled water for your children as well, and black charcoal as well.
Okay, perfect.
Now, the thing with black charcoal is if they get constipated with it, because it does pull lots of heavy metals and vaccines and shit out of blood, it really cleans the blood. But if they get constipated, just watch that. So then pull it back to every 3rd day or every 4th day.
Yeah.
So you want it to just concentrate on the toxins so that if there's nothing, that it can draw from your GI tract, then it'll look for it in the blood. So, but the other signs that are weak are Aries, potassium phosphate for you, Cancer, calcium fluoride, Virgo, potassium sulfate. Well, you need Virgo, potassium sulfate, and Libra, the next one after it, which is sodium phosphate.
Okay. Wow, I'll be taking them all.
You need 2 more, sister. You need Scorpio, calcium sulfate, and Sagittarius silica. That's also good for the skin. The silica and the Cancer one, calcium fluoride, is also very good for the skin, and the Libra one, because the Libra one, it's also good for the kidneys, which will give you good chi energy for your skin.
Oh, that's good. I do need my kidneys to work better. So that's so weird you say that too. So add Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sag.
Yep.
Okay.
You need all 12, really. Everyone needs all 12. It's just that we're looking at where your weaknesses are. Now, if you want, so we're going to attack where there's most strongly. So you can get all the 12 salts. I do every day. I take the 12. I'm getting better. Yes. I was really looking grey and gaunt and really scary in the last decade because I've been tortured.
I'm so glad to see that you're happy and you're not being tortured so much. I've been watching you over the years.
Yes, good, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and that's all from the cell salts, and you just drinking more distilled water?
Yes, and adding more fruit to my diet, especially red apples. In the morning, have a red apple. Last thing of the evening, have a red apple. Eat red apples and you watch what happens to you. Fruit is human food. We are fruitarians, which also means we can have vegetables. So vegetarian and fruitarian differ not. Okay, but the true term for our human diet is fruitarian. Okay, and apples are the best human food. Berries, melons, yep. Dr. Morse, he is the superstar teacher of truth when it comes to diet. I've been dying to get in touch with him, and I've been, not in the position. Always things keep coming up, but he needs to see how astrology is more comprehensive and important in his. I can help him. I can do some Skype chats with him like this. I can train him to be way more precise. Not that he's not. This is another tool that I'm not necessarily saying he needs. He's the complete superstar healer guru when it comes to spirituality. I've heard his spirituality talks.
Oh, they're
He's
wonderful.
right on the money with everything. I've been buying his products here in Australia. He's the kidney parasite thing, the kidney and bladder tincture he has, the strong parasite one with black walnut hull, and I've been buying his products, and I go to a colon therapist here in on the Sunshine Coast, and she loves Dr. Robert Morse, and we love him, and so we talk about him all the time. And so I'm glad I've got someone that knows Dr. Robert Morse in this capacity, so that I can connect with him, because my partner Violet, who's in California at the moment, she's the high priestess of syncretism, most gifted wisdom woman. She brings alchemy, crystals, herbs, spagyrics to astrology, greatness to healing. And
It's
there are
totally
many
a wellness center that way, with you all working in a wellness center, Dr. Morris, you, her, and other people in the realm of healing could be under one big conglomeration, like several little hospitals around the world would be amazing.
Yes. Now, I'm glad when we started this reading that I did it the real basics beginner baby way, to introduce someone to astrology so that they can understand it, but include many advanced things in it, and especially the tissue salts, the body, the parts of the body, etc. This is a very good educational video.
Yeah.
Well, Violet has just been doing videos, medical astrology recently. If you go to my channel, you'll see her. Please do.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the latest videos. Santos's astrology with Violet May, Violet May Brown. She's my beautiful partner, and I love her very much.
Oh,
And she has been getting so many inquiries for reading. She's doing one every second day now. She and I have been healing and helping people so much with just the things that we add. She also makes wands.
I've finally just kind of woke out of my stupor. I've been sleeping and dealing with sick kids and dealing with my sick body. So I'm finally feeling like where you just saw in my map, where my career looks like it's going to be good here in the next 6 months, you said, right?
Yes. That there's a lot of things that you can do from that. And so when you, for instance, Violet she would look at this and she would make a wand for you with crystals and everything that will bring corrective energies into your chart. For instance, she might add something Cancerian for you. She will definitely add something Saturnian, because Saturn is the weakest planet in your chart. And I'm going to prescribe to you as well a Sanskrit chant. You need to chant to Saturn.
Okay.
Shani Charaya.
Okay. I've seen you do this in another video for someone else.
Yes, this is very important, because why? People don't give enough credence and enough weight to chanting. Well, chanting is sonoluminescence. Om Shanicharaya Namahe. Now, you have just created a vibration in the universe which goes everywhere, and it's to the God of all gods, Saturn, Shanicharaya, because he is old man time, Chronos. And wherever he is in your chart, if he is debilitated, as he is in Aries where he falls, because he exalts opposite in Libra, the scales, where the kidneys are. So he is bringing you here. What's he bringing you in your cerebram, Aries, RAM? He's bringing you possibly headaches. He could bring you concentration difficulties.
I have all of that, what you just named.
Yes, because there are four humours in the universe. Like there are four elements: fire, air, earth, and water, which is solid, liquid, gas, and radiance or plasma. And those universal humours, they are hot and cold, the two active humours of the universe, and wet and dry, the two passive humours of the universe. So Kronos, Saturn, is the greater malefic because he is cold and dry. And if you try and grow a garden with cold and dry energies, how well do you think your garden will grow?
Not very good. I don't think it will grow at all.
Okay, so the opposite, Jupiter is the greater benefic in astrology, Jupiter Zeus, Jesus. He is hot and moist. So how does hot and moist go in your vegetable garden?
Very well.
Okay, so when you have cold and dry Saturn in hot and dry fire Aries, well, this is bringing coldness, the humor of coldness. So if you go to a Chinese acupuncturist, Ayurvedic practitioner, he will look at your tongue, he will say, your brain needs potassium phosphate, which will heat up that coldness. See, there's coldness, and he won't know astrologically. I will, because I can see it there. Okay, yeah. But he and say you and Dr. Robert Morse with your iridology, you also will see it in the eye. You'll say, yes, the brain is foggy.
Yeah. My whole brain flare is, the whole brain flare in my eye is affected, at least.
Okay. Well, see, this one of my graphics, I've already forwarded another one. This is another one that's very important, my sync rotor wheel. And this has got all the medical degrees on the outside of it, which will correspond with everything in your iridology. So Saturn is on the 18th degree of Aries. Let's see what is on the 18th degree of Aries. Now, Aries is always here in the head. See the man in the middle? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, the chest, Leo, the lion, heart, again, fire in the heart. Aries is also fire in the cerebrum, fire in the mind, fire in the heart. Mm-hmm. Virgo, the belly, it's kidney, the Libra, the two kidneys, the yin and the yang, the scales of Libra.
Yeah.
Yep, Scorpio, the generative system. Sagittarius, the hips, which is hippo from horse, the centaur, Sagittarius. Capricorn, which rules the skeletal system. Aquarius, which rules the shins and the ankles, and it rules the 12 meridians of acupuncture. Pisces rules the integumentary system, and Aries is the head. So let's look at the 18th degree, which is not a very happy degree in all signs. The 18th degree is very unfortunate. So let's see what's there. And we don't have anything specific here. On the 16th degree, we have stroke. On the 20th degree, we have abscesses. So nothing dangerous here as far as we know. But when we go to the decan, we see the general decan is migraines. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now the last decan of Aries is concentration. The first decan is the skull, and usually people have wounds in the skull or broken fractures, etc., or deformities. But here you have migraines, headaches. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in general, this will bring. So, in general, you need to chant to Saturn and a few other planets, but just start with that for a couple of weeks. I'm going to look at some other planets, but like Venus will be next. All right, and you can do this yourself, but just give one planet a 2-week period of chanting and see how he is the orchestrator of your whole chart. Okay, it's very important in astrology to quickly isolate the ruler of your chart, which planet is the best ruler, and that would have to go to Mars. Mars is your #1 planet, and so the ruler of your chart, whereas Saturn is your worst. And so, and since he is old man time Kronos, he is going to orchestrate your everything. In general, your everything will improve: career, happiness, health, etc. if you chant to Saturn. Yeah, look, you know, I've had the pleasure of receiving many emails in the tens of thousands, if not hundreds, of people who do the salt salts and get great results. I've made the tissue salt companies rich in the millions, and I've done thousands of readings, and my videos have gone, you know, like in the millions in my astrology reading all around the world. Oh, with the work that Violet's doing now, getting the attention of people all around the world, she is becoming a superstar in astrology circles.
I can't wait. I bet I've already watched her somewhere on your videos, and I just didn't put you guys together yet. So thank you for letting me.
Well, let's have a look. If we go to my channel, I'll tell you exactly. The last two videos, Medical Astrology for Santos Bonacci Part 2, Plants and Planets, Alchemy and Magic, and then Part 1. I thought Part 1 was really amazing. This was a debut video. Okay. She posts a lot on Facebook and gets a lot of acclaim in the last years, but she's never had the confidence to do videos. And she jumped into it and she edited it as well. And she is a superstar. That's the latest video we've uploaded last week. This is the second latest. And the third latest as well is really important, where I've got snippets of all the quotes from Porphyry, Plutarch, Pythagoras, Ovid, and all the great vegetarian/vegans of history that have denounced the murder of innocent, voiceless animals and the bloodless diet, how important it is for ascension. And then the fourth last one I've posted is on the ascension process and raising the chrism, the Christ, for ascension into the spiritual heavens, which is a condition, not necessarily location. What I can teach is what I can add to anyone's profession already, and knowledge base is only going to improve what they already know. So this is very, very important. This is the science of energy, the science of light, the science of frequency and vibration.
Right, right. And if we were all taught this as children in school, we would have all gotten it very quickly, and we would all be healthy today because we would know how to take care of our bodies.
Exactly.
But we're not. So we're bullshit in school, and we're all a bunch of zombies walking around now with our phones, and we can't look up at the sky and see the chemtrails and look within to see God.
That's right. He's within, not without. Just to finish off, see, when I was talking about the Sunday drive, the weather that you have in your chart, well, that's a little bit of grey skies, which are the red lines, and a little bit of blue skies, which are the blue, beautiful, harmonious energy in the chart. Now, I just want to finish off with the reason why, because you are already a therapist and you need to know this. These blue lines, they are 120 degrees, and they will make an equilateral triangle. And that 120 degrees within a circle is a trine, a grand trine. Okay, this would be a grand square. So these 90-degree lines, these are harsh. These ones are benefic. These are malefic. So these are Jupiterian. These are martial. These are Saturnian, cold and dry. These are hot and moist. These are hot and dry, and these Venetian ones, the sextile, which is 60 degrees, these are also warm and moist. They're not hot and moist, they're warm and moist. So they're medium benefic. Venus is
would be alkaline, and the red would be acidic.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So these are called tetragonal radiation. This is trigonal radiation. Tri is 3, tetra is 4. So it teaches you the science. This is what the Freemasonic symbolism of the compass and the square is. The compass, the square is always square. So this is a square. Okay. The compass always represents 60 degrees. And these are 60 degrees here. In here, these angles, whereas this is 90 degrees. And this is the 69 of the symbolism of 69 of Cancer, this 69 here, because Cancer makes a square with Aries. So this is the 9 is 90 degrees, and the 6 is the trine. And so this is tetragonal and trigonal radiation. So this is why it's very important to know these energies and the aspects going on inside the chart as well. So you can see how the humors, hot and cold, moist and dry, are interacting in your body, you see. So this is the complete way to analyze all of the dynamics of the constitution of each individual. So I will finish with that, and I want to give you another one chart, because we did touch on one subject which will benefit you as well. You can also prescribe the this graphic here is dealing with all the tissue salts and all the parts of the body. My niece created these graphics, and they're available online as well for the public, etc. But inside here, it tells you all of the areas of the body that the tissue salts will help, and what parts of the body it pertains to, etc. Well, these are high resolution. Yeah, these are high resolution digital graphics that you can take on a stick to your printer, and he'll post one as big as you want. This one's got way more information on it than anything out there. This is a great graphic to have. These are very valuable graphics. They're super important for the do-it-at-home health, practitioner.
Well, be well, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Great. All righty. Take care then.
Thank you, Santos. Have a good day.
Bye. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.